Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of what we're calling The Real Deal, where we go through real deals that we're doing, purchasing these houses, $0 out of our pocket, cash flowing these, and in this specific episode, we're going through how we future-proof this house. So watch the video and see how we get ultra creative.
It's forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever.
All right guys, so here we are going into the property. Number one thing that we care about when we future-proof a property is no carpet, all tile everywhere. And not just little tiles, because that creates more grout, but big tiles with small grout lines so that we don't have to have grout issues in the future and stuff chipping and stains and all that kind of stuff. So that's obviously number one. Number two is the weird pop-outs, and the way these houses were designed originally is they used to have these pop-outs for the TVs. So we take all that stuff out, clean up all the lines, make it really simple. And then one of the big changes that would be controversial for a lot of people is we remove the formal living room and we remove the formal dining room, because not a lot of people actually use formal living rooms and formal dining rooms anymore, or ever really have. We also cancel the master shower or master bathtub in lieu of a larger master shower, because the statistics show that people don't really use their master bathtub unless they have children. So what we do is we leave a bathtub in the hallway, we get rid of the master bathtub in the master, and we just clean everything up. So let's go take a look really through the property. So originally this house had an opening. It was wide open right here. And what we did is we put up a wall here, we put a wall here. We then added 85 can lights throughout the property. We have 2 ceiling fans. His and hers office is the main idea for this room. And if somebody doesn't like to use it as an office, they could use this as a formal living room, or they could turn this into a formal dining room with a really big table. But instead, what we did is we wired Cat 5, we wired speakers throughout the house, we wired everything Cat 6, so that people can avoid doing Wi-Fi on their laptops. They can actually plug in. Same thing here, like we've got TV that's hardwired with HDMI. We have Apple TVs and Chromecasts and all that kind of stuff that no longer has to go through Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi can really be bogged down with how many devices are being utilized on the network. So we eliminate the need for Wi-Fi throughout most of the house, and then really the only thing that needs Wi-Fi is your phone and maybe your tablet. Everything else is hardwired in to make sure that you save that bandwidth. So that's a really big part of future-proofing. We also get rid of all the light fixtures. So these old light fixtures with the old light bulbs, we switch everything out with LED to save on the cost of the electricity. Now, right here, you can't tell, but what we'll do is we'll throw a couple of before photos in here. This used to be a closet that popped out into the kitchen. We opened it up and we built a big hallway that went through there. This was a big pop out, really, really ugly. And then right here, if you look down on the floor, you can see where the gray versus the white is. The gray was a big TV pop out where they had the old shelves and all that stuff for the big tube TV. So we got rid of that. We wired the entire house, speakers throughout the whole system, just clean it up, make it very, very clean, and hardwire everything. Again, this room alone, I think we added about 30 can lights, and they're all LED. So just to make it so there's very, very little that anybody has to worry about, and we can charge a higher rent because this is a smart home that allows them to have faster internet, not bogged down by stuff. So we also raised all the ceiling heights in the hallway. And if you look right here, these used to be 7-foot standard doors. We actually went to an 8-foot door that gives it a higher point of luxury. It makes the house look way, way more open. We went through and we wired in this hallway bedroom closet. We actually turned this into the technology closet, and we made it so we'll be able to put Xboxes and PlayStations and Apple TV will all run here. So even in the bedrooms where there's a TV and you're playing Xbox, you won't see the Xbox. You won't see anything anywhere. It'll just be super clean look. When you walk in, it won't be cluttery, and you don't have to have tables that hide your consoles or anything like that. So again, as I talked about earlier, all of the plumbing behind, even the plumbing underneath here and the drainage underneath the tubs. That's the most important part, is replacing valves, replacing drainage, because that will all last 30 to 50 years. And since we were already doing a renovation, it was a couple $1,000s extra to just make sure that it was all done so we never have issues with renters or tenants at any time in the future. So a couple of big things as well is that we ran a Tesla charger into the garage. One thing that gives me a pet peeve is because we own our crews work for us and nobody else, is that our crews will do things for us at a cost that is very cost effective. So for example, in a garage, most people have one light, sometimes two. We added 8 can lights in here to make it look really, really bright. And then what we did here is we added 2 chargers for Tesla 1 and Tesla 2, so that in the future, 10 years in the future, when everybody has electronic cars, we're already set up for that. We're not digging through walls, we're not doing drywall, it's already set up, and we can even raise our rents in the future. We're already set up for a 20-year technology wave that we don't have to touch this. So yes, it costs a little bit of money up front, but it'll last 30, 40, 50 years without having to worry about changing technology inside the property. So while we're outside, let me show you one thing as well. We hardwired 9 security cameras throughout the property. You'll see that the cables have been ran, but the guys haven't gotten there yet. So we've got one, and it's a full perimeter. So basically what that does is it allows your insurance company to give you a lower rate. So my cost on that was about $600, and my cost of insurance goes down about $15 a month because we have full perimeter. And over time, we actually save money. It gives us, gives our tenants and our renters the feel of, hey, I have a great security system on my house, and none of it's Wi-Fi. So there's these Nest cameras, there's all these things that are coming out that are draining and sucking up the Wi-Fi. Even our security cameras are hardwired where they don't have any power issues, and if one of them is cut, the whole alarm goes off. If a Nest camera gets cut, it sends you a notification, but what if you're not looking at your phone, right? So really just a way better way of going in the future. So again, Tesla chargers, we're getting rid of the hot water heater. We're gonna put a tankless water heater, make it more efficient. We also, there was an extra area here where there was an additional refrigerator. We took that out and we put an extra shelving system in here to add some more storage in the property. And this was probably one of the more controversial changes because a lot of people don't see this. So this originally, where the shower is now, this shower used to be where the bathtub was. So we canceled the bathtub, and this is where the shower was. It's just a teeny tiny little 3x3 shower that 2 people couldn't fit in. So what we did is we canceled that. We turned this into a technology closet, not a technology closet, but an electronic closet. So now come take a look at this. This is where the curling iron and the blow dryer and all that stuff will plug in, and it will sit on a shelf right here so that the wife or the spouse or whoever can open a door, and they'll have mirror glass here. They can have all their stuff permanently plugged into this closet without cluttering this whole space here, and making it easier for them to just keep everything in one location, always plugged in, not having to clean it up every time they use it. Another thing we did here, as you'll see, is this house is 17 years old. So you can imagine there used to be shelving in here. But what we did is we canceled all the shelving, and we're gonna put a future-proof shelving package in here, California closets actually. And this is something that's kind of funny. Check this out. I call this the power tool outlet. I don't know that we would want to put this in the video, but it's kind of funny. This is so when husband and wife have sex tools or sex toys and all that stuff, they can charge inside their closet rather than having it inside their bedroom where it's next to the dresser where your kids will get to it and all that kind of stuff. So we actually add outlets in all the closets so that you can have things that are private, charging without anybody seeing them. So again, lighting is really important. Electricity is really important. Access to electricity. Also making it so things are easy, there's less functionality, less moving parts. So take a look at this. This is one of the most annoying parts about being a property owner is pool fences, right? So pool fences, they rot, they go bad, they look horrible, and they block off the whole house. So what we'll do here instead is we'll do a spider web net over top of the pool, cancel the pool net, and then that way the net keeps anybody from ever drowning or getting hurt by the pool having no fence. So this will come down in about a week, and we'll come back here maybe in a week or two when this is all done. And then also no landscape. We're done with landscape. None of our properties are gonna have landscape in our higher end rentals, because when we show up to a property 3 years after our renter's been in there and they move out, a lot of times they haven't been keeping up on the landscape. So we go in and spend a couple $1,000s cleaning it up and redoing it. Here, it will be all turf, no sprinkling systems, no plants, no gravel to gather dirt and all that kind of stuff. It will all be just turf grass all the way around the pool. Very, very minimal, easy to maintain. Final thing, this is not really a future proofing of the house, but this is something that we add. These are the things that we notice when we're renting out a property, is that this house has no backyard lighting at all. So we think about our renter, we think about our tenant, and we say, man, if you've got people hanging out at the pool, hanging out by the fire pit, you're really gonna wanna have some outside lighting. So we added 2 lights here and here. You can see the cameras on both ends as well, talking about that full perimeter camera situation. And then underneath here, we added speakers that are concealed and you can't see them, whereas most people have these big bulbous speakers. So trying to just make sure everything's super clean, super easy to maintain, nothing breaking down, getting rid of old clunky looks and making it so one renovation will last 50 years so that we don't have to keep coming through and upgrading things. We just do all the simple upgrades up front. Hey guys, so what we did is we just showed you how we got the deal. We told you the little story about it. But what I want to do is I want to go put that on the whiteboard back at the classroom and show everybody how we got into the deal, how much money we're into it out of pocket, and how we're going to make money long term on this house, and how to go get more of these on leads that other people aren't touching. This is the best part about this house, is this house will make our company hundreds of thousands of dollars in residual cash flow. But this is a house that nobody else could have gotten because of the not only little equity, there was literally zero equity in this entire house. So what we're gonna do is go back to the classroom, break down what that means and how to go find more of these opportunities so you can cash flow as well. Hey guys, as promised, we were gonna come back into the classroom and talk about where the deal came from, how we structured it, meaning what it cost us out of pocket and how we worked with the seller on it. And then third, the most important, is how are we making money on the deal? So let's get cracking on it. Number one, where did the deal come from? Well, the magic thing about doing business in town and doing it the right way is that you get referrals from people who don't really work on this kind of strategy. So we get wholesalers who look at opportunities only as a wholesale opportunity, and if it's not a wholesale opportunity, they throw it away. And what happens is they call us, right? Our company that actually deals with subject to or creative terms, they get a deal that has zero equity and they think, absolutely not, I am not going after that deal. I'm gonna call Pace and his team to come and do this deal. So we actually got this referral from a gentleman named Doug Hopkins. You should follow him. He's a little bit of a TV star. He had a show on HGTV for a couple of years, really solid guy, good friend of ours. He called me up and he said, hey Pace, I've got a lead where these guys have some pain, the seller has some pain, they need to sell the property. They're not behind on their mortgage, but they need to go buy another house that they've already put a deposit on, and their existing house is not selling. So I said, yeah, sure, give me the phone number of the seller and I'll call the seller directly. I called the seller, his name is Dave, built a good relationship with Dave, and I heard his story was, look, we don't have a lot of equity in the house, if any. We bought the house 11 years ago during kind of the crash time, and so the value of the house really hasn't increased and our mortgage hasn't paid down that much, but we've kind of outgrown this property and we're ready to move to another one. So what happened with Dave is Dave put a $15,000 deposit down on another property that he couldn't get back if he didn't execute that contract. So now he's got some stress with offloading the existing property. And so the first question I always ask a seller is, if I came in and I was able to help you, would you be willing to give me terms on the property? And what happened is the conversation turns from, wait, so you're not going to give me a cash offer? My answer says, I say, no, I'm just going to get you out of the house, take over the mortgage, keep the mortgage in your name, and we're going to close title so that you can go and buy another property and take this property off your debt to income ratio. So remember, debt to income ratio. I'm going to do another video about that. So look down below and look for the debt to income ratio video so you guys kind of understand how that all works. But Dave says, man, this sounds great. We got to get rid of this house. Our real estate agent wasn't able to sell it in the last 5.5 months, and we're basically at the end of our time frame. We need to sell the house. So we got the deal from a referral. Okay? Super, super important is as you're doing deals around town is to do things the right way and always make sure that you're building relationships, because you never know when somebody's going to bring you a really, really good deal. And that wholesaler who looked at that and said, there's no equity on this deal, he could have been making the money, and we'll show you that here in a second. He could be making the money that we're making on the deal. So let me show you how we structured the conversation with Dave. Dave owed $370,000 on a home that is worth $390,000. The challenge is when you sell a property on retail and you have real estate agents involved and closing costs and all that kind of stuff, you sell a house at $390,000, you're going to net below that $370,000 mark. So what happened is Dave says, I'm going to sell this house for $390,000, take out my mortgage and take out, let's say, $30,000 of closing costs, commissions, etc., right? You take that all out, you're at $400,000 is what it would cost for him to sell the house. He's underwater $10,000. So instead of Dave cutting a check for $10,000 and going any further and trying to sell the house, he came to us and said, if you give us a little bit of money, basically enough to justify us giving your mortgage, I believe we ended up giving Dave $5,000. So we gave Dave $5,000 in cash. Not technically in cash, it always goes through a title company. The title company then disperses the money to Dave, so it's all recorded. But we ended up giving Dave $5,000 on this deal. So we have a mortgage of $370,000. That mortgage is 3.875%. And our PITI on this deal is $1,900, I believe, and 50. It might be a little bit off, but we'll just round it to $1,950. So why is this a good deal? It has no equity. Why is this a good deal? Well, the magic behind this deal, and we'll get into this a little bit deeper, is we can rent this property for $2,950 and make a $1,000 spread every single month on this property. That's amazing. Go do that 10 times. You probably could retire in a lot of ways, right? So we took over PITI, $1,950. So we now have $5,000 in cash to the seller. We had $2,500 to closing costs. So here's the seller. Then we had a $30,000 renovation. So we were basically out of pocket on this deal, $37,500 out of pocket, OOP. So $37,500, where did that money come from? Now, a lot of new wholesalers and new investors are going to look at that $37,000 and say, I can't do this. That's a ninja tactic. I don't have $37,500. Well, guess what? That money didn't come from me or my company either. It came from a private investor that was looking to earn a return on their money. So what we did is we brought a lender in, put that lender in at second position. So let's take that and we'll bring it up to here. That lender, we now make that lender a $375 payment. That's a 10% return on their money every single year. They're making $375 in passive income by allowing us to get into this deal with their money. So I'm out of this deal, zero money out of my pocket. The lender's making $375, and here's how we're making money. $2,950. The $375 payment is in second position. So this is in first, here we go. There's our payment. This one's in first position. So we have a first position PITI, so that's total all-in cost, $375 at 10% payment to our private lender. And then we have an HOA of $60 a month. So that total cost is $2,385. So our total all-in cost, or I call this also debt service. Our total all-in cost debt service is $2,385. Now, what did I say we could rent it for? We can rent that property for $2,950. So we are making approximately $600 a month on that property by cash flowing it, taking somebody else's mortgage and raising that to a higher rent and future-proofing the property so that over and over and over we can take that rent at $2,950 and every couple of years add a couple $100 to it. So we'll only cash flow more and more and more the longer we own this property. Now, here's what's really cool as well. If you take this first position mortgage and you look at it, $1,300 of it is interest. The other $650 a month is pay down. So I have a mortgage that's paying down every single month. So this month I might owe $370, but next month I owe $370,000. Next month I owe $370,000 minus $650, so on and so forth, and it keeps going and going and going. And I call that our silent savings account. The mortgage just keeps paying down as we continue to cash flow. If you look at those two numbers combined, our company is making close to $1,300 a month on a property that we're zero out of pocket on, that we saved the seller from a situation, helped them move into a better situation, and we took a referral from somebody that we really care about and made something happen out of it. And look how much money we're making. It's crazy what people are leaving on the table. So this is the reason I do these videos, is I really want people to understand as real estate investors and real estate wholesalers that you're passing up on deals that although they don't have any equity, and sometimes they have a negative equity of negative $10,000, you can take that deal, pay a little bit of money to the seller, take over the mortgage, and make $1,300 a month. $600 into your pocket every month that you can go spend on whatever, and another $600 that accumulates your net worth, essentially your long-term wealth. And that's what Subject to is all about. Cash flowing, long-term wealth, building assets by utilizing somebody else's mortgage that's already in place, you don't have to qualify for. So here's what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a couple of different videos that break down how to get more referrals. We're gonna do another video about that. We're gonna do another video on how we structured our last 20 deals, and we'll continue to do these videos. And then we're gonna do more videos on how we're making money on every one of our deals, because the exit strategy is not always the same. Sometimes we do a corporate rental. Sometimes we take a house subject to and turn around and flip it to the retail market. Sometimes we take it and we turn it into an Airbnb. Sometimes, and we've got a property up in Whitman that we've turned into a battered women's shelter that will make $6,000 a month on a $1,300 mortgage we took over. So stay with us, watch more videos, take a look at the whole YouTube channel, and look for other videos to see how we're structuring other deals. All right, what we just went through is how we acquired the deal, how we structured the deal, and how we're making money on that deal with zero money out of our pocket. We solved a major problem for the seller. We worked with another investor here locally to work on a referral that they sent to us, and we future-proofed a property so that we don't have to renovate it for another 30 to 50 years. Super creative. Guys, we are going to continue to do episodes of this new series called The Real Deal. So please subscribe so you get notified for future episodes. Make a comment down if you've done a subject to or any sort of creative deal so that other people watching this video can engage and we can learn as a community together. Let's go get creative.
This right here, the rev.